Hooty hoo! Sorry, I'm just setting up the Unrivaled signal, gathering all the girls, gays, and nays so that we can talk about Unrivaled Season 2. Oh, yeah. On the last season of Unrivaled, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier debuted their beautiful baby, a 3-on-3 basketball league designed to solve the off-season issue for WNBA players. You see, for basically forever, the only way for WNBA players to make real money playing basketball, aka a livable wage, they had to take matters into their own hands and play overseas, often in a country that doesn't particularly like women or queer people. And in case you've been counting, everyone in the WNBA falls into one or both of those categories. And thus, Unrivaled was born. Not only has it offered financial security to many of your favorite professional basketball players, but it also took basketball and said, what if we just got rid of all the boring parts? Ask anyone, and they will say the worst part of basketball is that the last 60 seconds can go on for 20 minutes. Cue the Elam ending. In Unrivaled, the fourth quarter is untimed, and someone hits a game winner in every single game. Someone is always going to walk it off. What could be more fun than that? Plus, it was a perfect for TV product. It had an ad-free first and fourth quarter for every game. The whole thing felt like it was shot in first person. The camera fully joined the huddles during timeouts, like the fans at home were going to be the ones inbounding the ball. And players looked directly into the camera, like Unrivaled is the Dunder Mifflin of basketball employers. It was perfect. We had a BG dunk. We had game winner after game winner from Skylar Diggins. We had the 1v1 tournament and surprise Aaliyah Edward 1v1 skills. We had social media star Marina Mabry and the rise of Coach Nola Henry. Now, we're about to run it all back, but with more teams, more players, more games, more. And that's what you missed on Glee. Welcome to the Weekly. Now, I really encourage you to go into this Unrivaled season with an open mind and an open heart, to find your favorite players, to form your own crushes, and to pick your own best uniforms. The beauty of Unrivaled's club system and that everything happens in one place, in Miami, Florida, is that there are no regional ties to any team. You have no obligation to root for your hometown team or pretend you don't like a team just because they have a cute player. But if you're someone who likes to know what to expect, then I have put together a little roadmap for you just to get started. Let's get into it. We'll start with the newcomers. Unrivaled added 2 new teams, Breeze BC and Hive BC. Breeze BC is fun, young, and very capable. It feels a little unfair to queer people everywhere to put Paige Beckers and Kate Martin on the same team. Everyone knows having both of your crushes in the same room is guaranteed to induce gay panic. On top of that, they added the #1 showstopper from last season's Sephora Arrival Cam, and that is Rakia Jackson to this team. Come on. And the hits don't stop coming. This group of guards is joined by Ari McDonald and complemented by 2 of the best young bigs, Cameron Brink and Dominique Malonga. Paige's basketball IQ with Cam's off-ball movement and Kate Martin's three-point shooting, elite combo. But the #1 thing you need to know is that at some point this season, we are going to get to see Paige Beckers throw a lob to a Dom dunk. You need to know that. The other thing that is really interesting about this team is that they're all kind of college sensations. Ari McDonald was huge at Arizona, and in the couple seasons that they were really good. Kate Martin was Caitlin Clark's right hand at Iowa. Paige Beckers is Paige Beckers. Rickea Jackson was a standout at Tennessee, and Cam Brink was very well known on those Tara Vanderveer Stanford teams. And Dom is still college age, so kind of a current college sensation without the college, I guess. Hive BC. Hive BC is similar in a sensation sense, except instead of college standouts, it's full of 2025 WNBA top talents. The common theme here is that all of these players outperformed expectations by a significant standard of deviation. Sonia Citron was the runner-up to Paige Beckers' Rookie of the Year win and played a huge role in the Mystics' success this season. Kelsey Mitchell had to put the Fever's entire season on her shoulders with Clark out due to injury and did so remarkably. She secured herself a top contract for next season with her performances all year long. Ezzy Magbagor was a dominant rim protector, averaging 2.2 blocks per game. For context, Asia Wilson averaged 2.3. That's pretty significant. Natisha Heidemann was larger than life off the court this past season, no doubt, but she also averaged 9 points per game on just under 19 minutes per game on a team that is impossibly deep in the Minnesota Lynx, and I find that pretty impressive as well. Finally, Hive BC is completed by Sanaya Rivers, who averaged 26.1 points per game as a late first-round draft pick, and Monique Billings, who contributed to the historic run of expansion team Golden State Valkyries. Not a bad group. A group of team players. They all bring something to the table that makes the team better as a whole. So I'm pretty excited to see them play together. Laces BC. Laces were early favorites in season 1, but they only returned 2 players from that roster. But they're 2 pretty significant players, Jackie Young and Alyssa Thomas. You think there are any hard feelings there after last season's WNBA finals? Yeah, I'm sure there isn't. I mean, if there are 2 things that you can set your watch to over the last several seasons, they would be this. The WNBA postseason is going to feature the Aces, and it is going to feature Alyssa Thomas in some way, shape, or form. The Laces also made it part of their identity last season that their team was full of players with high basketball IQs. And that remains true this season with a supporting cast to Jackie Young and Alyssa Thomas that features the reigning Sixth Woman of the Year, Naz Hillman, a big who shoots it very well from deep in Maddie Siegrist, and a couple of quick, shifty guards in Jordan Canada and Brittany Sykes, also known as Slim, who will be excellent at finding their teammates as well as finding the rim. This group is full of good decision makers and playmakers who see the floor very well. But if I had one concern here, it would be their lack of size. There is a lot of size across the league this season, and I think they will have a hard time stopping some of those bigger teams. Something to keep an eye on. Lunar Owls. The Lunar Owls are a beautiful but complicated situation, just like love or the NASA pictures of space. They had a nice mix of proven success and newcomers prior to the news about Nafisa Collier. With her out for the entire season, the Lunar Owls have a lot more unknowns than they do guaranteed product, I fear. The headline is, they are returning Skylar Diggins, who proved that her game is perfect for 3-on-3 and that no shot is too big for her with game winner after game winner. Thanks in large part to that fourth quarter rule we discussed earlier. They also have Aaliyah Edwards, who showed out in the 1v1 tournament, but her 3v3 game was never all it could be on last year's Miss BC, who never really gelled. So we know what she can do in 1v1, but her 3-on-3 best kind of remains to be seen, I think. Another player who never got to fully show us what she could do last season was Marina Mabrey, who is also on this squad. She missed a lot of time due to injury, to the point where I'm not even sure if she saw the floor. I have a very clear memory of her in her Under Armour chef hat, but not of her in uniform. The final pieces for this team are two Chicago Sky players, Rebecca Allen and Rachel Banham, who are both new to Unrivaled. So more players that we don't have a full picture of when it comes to 3-on-3. At the end of the day, this is a team big fat question mark. If you like suspense and the great unknown, then this is probably the team for you. Mist BC. Our other founder returns to her team from season 1 as well. Brianna Stewart and that aforementioned Mist BC, who had a lot of team pride, but not a lot of team performance. But we've triggered the reset, and I would say that I'm cautiously optimistic with what we have this time around. They added some defense, which they desperately needed. I mean, 3-on-3 isn't exactly known for defense, but last season Miss played next to none. That changes with the addition of the co-defensive player of the year, Alana Smith. What is also interesting about Smith is that she contributes to Miss BC being the biggest team in the league. Alana Smith is 6'4". Stewie is 6'4", and they also have Lee Yi-Roo at 6'7". Not to mention, Lee is coming off of her best season yet after being traded to Dallas. Like, what can other teams even do if Mist rolls out all three of them at once? That would be so funny. What can you do with that? The tactic in drafting here was clear because everyone on this team fits into one or both of two categories. The first being tall, obviously, and the second is three-point shooter. Stewie is both, obviously, and the other three players on this team are the latter. Veronica Burton, aka reigning MIP, Most Improved Player. Alicia Gray, famously a three-point shooting contest champion, and Arike Gumbawale, who has hit some of the craziest deep shots you have ever seen in your life. A bit hot and cold offensively, sure, at times. Impressive when she's on, very much yes. So this team is definitely going to play it into the post and kick out to a shooter beyond the arc. That's a great strategy, but it is also their only option. So if teams find a way to defend it, they are cooked. Phantom BC. Much like Mist, Phantom BC also had a lot of school spirit, but not a lot of success. They are returning Natasha Cloud, who I think may have rioted had she not been selected to return to the Ghost Gang. And they also return Satu Sabli, who will be out indefinitely with that lingering concussion. So she has been replaced by Tip Hayes, who was really great last season for the Laces. This team as a whole has a lot of great qualities. The physical quickness and speed of play of T Cloud and Tip Hayes and Dana Evans will be so much fun to watch in an already sped up game of 3-on-3. I'm really excited about that. Add in Kelsey Plum, who can score at will, to that mix, and Phantom becomes very difficult to stop. And that is all before we get into the forwards, right? All four of those guards are great with the ball in their hands and have a knack for getting to the rim despite their size. Oh yeah, size. Phantom also has two great players around the glass in Kiki Iriafen and Aaliyah Boston. Bigs that will be able to keep up with the speed of those guards, okay? This team will be fast and it will be fun. Vinyl BC. Vinyl played really well together as a team last season, and they are returning that core with Dearica Hamby, Ryan Howard, and Ray Burrell. A big piece of their cohesion last season was likely due to the extensive experience of Hamby and Howard in 3-on-3. And Ray proved herself right alongside them last season as well. The highlight of Vinyl going into the season opener is what they added to this trio, though. We know that works, but now they have added size and speed. They have the biggest player in the league in Brittany Griner, who was pretty dominant offensively last season. Pays to be the biggest, the largest. And she has added a couple of incredibly quick guards as well in Courtney Williams and Erica Wheeler. Big talkers as well. The downside in all of this is that we will not get another Courtney Williams block on Brittany Griner, unfortunately. The upside is this team has so much personality. I'm excited to watch them off the court just as much as I am to watch them on the court. And finally, our reigning champs, Nola Henry and Rose BC. You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Nola is not fixing it. She has 4 of her 6 players back. Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Azura Stevens, and Lexi Hall. She added Shakira Austin to replace Angel Reese, who will not return this season. She's been a very busy woman. Girl deserves a break, okay? And Austin is also great on the boards and impossible to body, just immovable. And they add Sug Sutton, who has experience feeding Shakira in the post as teammates on the Mystics. So the 2 new pieces gel, and the 4 returning pieces already prove what they could do together. Now you just gotta mix it all together. Whew, okay, that's everything. That's the preview. We chatting a little bit now. This is the part where I want to hear from you. I know you're going to take my advice and let the right team find you this season. You only find love when you stop looking for it and all that. But I want to know, what are you most excited to see this season? Is it ending the PB Hoops drought? Is it the shit talking? Is it the possibility for dunks? What do you want to see most? And which player are you most excited to see in season 2? Dominique Malonga? I don't think we got to see enough of her in the regular season, so I'm interested to see what she can do. Maybe Cam Brink, since she was drafted but couldn't play last season. And I have a few predictions for you as well. Let's see. The first prediction that I have for you is I think Paige Beckers doubles down and is the best newcomer in Unrivaled too. She sweeps the Rookie of the Years. I think that Breeze or Vinyl are going to win the championship. And I have Aaliyah Edwards wiping the floor again in the 1v1 tournament all the way to the crown this time. I think she wins the final this time around. What are your predictions for Unrivaled Season 2? Drop them in the comments. Let's chat about it. And that's the preview. This is the weekly, and I'll see you next week.